Sports Show podcast, where sports and combos collide. Your host, Fredo, Mo Money, Jay Will, Mills Lane, and Kobe, the co-returner. Authentic, unapologetic, no edits, no cap. Let the convo begin.
Welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast, where sports and convos collide. I am your host, Fredo.
I'm your host, Mills Lane.
I'm your host, Kobe, the co-returner.
And I'm your other host, Jay Will. Yeah, I'm back.
And twins old enough to work with your mute, messing with your mute already.
Fred did it, man.
Hey, man, my bad, man. My bad. Hey, how you guys doing today?
Hey,
good, bro.
Okay. Hey, Mills, I know you wanted to lead off in terms of what transpired unfortunately today.
Yeah, it's been a tough day. I heard an old high school friend passed, so wanted to send my prayers to the family of Wuzu Williams. Just gone too soon. Just real shocking, and just a moment to especially check ourselves and get in tune with our bodies and health. I have no idea what happened, but I just, I hope that we are all, getting regular checkups and able to do that. And by able to do that, have health insurance of some type. And,
Thanks.
It's just sad. So, prayers to his family and his close friends. We also lost a celebrity, Twitch, who, I remember I was watching on the show, So You Think You Can Dance. And it's always the people who seem like they got the happiest lives in front of the camera that you find out are really struggling behind the camera. And yes. Apparently he was. Apparently he took his own life. I've already heard some conspiracy theorists.
You too, right?
Good for some good theories of what happened, but he was a DJ on the Ellen DeGeneres show for a long time, so a lot of people knew him. He and his wife would do TikTok videos, and he had 3 beautiful children. So again, just gone too soon. Unfortunate. I never know we never know what people are going through, and I know that's cliche, but we just really don't. So it just seemed like the last month and a half we started the show since October for sure with some type of death. So
absolutely
looking forward into the new year. I just hope everybody is as healthy as they can be and, are getting checked out and just making sure we're good.
Absolutely. And let me add to that, because I specified in a post earlier today, hey, man, just make sure that you tell your loved ones, man, that you love them. Yeah. Because like I said, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow. A lot of times we take life itself for granted. I may be sitting up here saying, hey, you know what? Hey, guys, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. I don't know that. It's not guaranteed.
We've done the mental health. We talked about that. And I think it's touched each of us, and, people may see us and think that we are always up. And
no.
That's a lie. Right.
That's a lie. That's absolutely, Mills. That's great because, I'll be the first to tell you, especially from my perspective, especially from me. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah. Exactly. Nah. Mental health is don't discriminate. It don't discriminate in terms of how much money you have, what cars you drive, what job you have, whatever aspirations that you have. It doesn't. When it hits you at the end of the day. And it's all about dealing with it in the correct way at the end of the day. Yeah. Anything you want to add to that, Jay Will or Cole?
Man, I just say, prayers up to the families of Wuzu, and also to Twitch. I know this is especially a tough time with the holidays coming up and stuff
Yeah,
like
man.
that, and
Yeah,
just I would just say that you use these holidays for what it's for just to come together as a family and stay strong, stay prayed up, stay positive, and continue to move forward like that your loved ones will want you to.
facts.
Yeah. Same with me, man. I mean, my prayers go out to the family. I didn't know the Wuzu guy, but I mean, like you said, with it being the holidays, man, for those two families, the holidays will never be the same. You know what I'm saying? There'll always be a thought around the holidays that this has happened. And for Twitch, man, I always when I hear about somebody taking their life, it always hits me regardless of who it is, because so many people are scared to die, and for somebody to be that down the way they take their own life is it's
Mm.
crazy, bro. I can never imagine how low somebody would be to, you know what I'm saying, how down they would be to take their life. And I mean, the prayers go out to the families, bro. Like you said, you never know what somebody going through. You got to be going through a lot, you know what I'm saying, to take your own life. So it's a sad
Yeah.
case anytime somebody commits suicide, man.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Definitely prayers to both families and condolences to both families at the end of the day. Hey guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. And to all our viewers and listeners out there that's jumping in, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, we do have a special guest, LaChana Robson, that will be coming on shortly. She's running a little late. But meanwhile, we'll just talk about this past weekend in the NFL. Hey guys, what you think so far in terms of Dallas, man? You guys pulled it out, Mills. You guys barely pulled it out, and people giving you guys a hard time, but I'm like, you know what? Look here, as much as I hate Dallas, at the end of the day, a win is a win, and that's how I look at it. A
That
win is a win, and what they showed towards the end of the game, you know what? That showed me more than anything in terms of them driving 80 yards to win the game. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Not kick a field goal, score the touchdown to win the
playing
game.
to
So
win.
absolutely, shout out to
Yeah,
you guys. Although I hate you,
I'm
but shout out
glad.
to you guys.
All right, all right. Yeah, I was like, this don't look good, but a win is a win. And that last drive, I was like, yeah, we good. And everybody knew we were good when that drive started, and it's always some type of confidence shift and the energy that you can tell when a team is motivated enough, when you like, yep, they're even, in their on their best day, there was nothing that the other team could do, So I'm glad we didn't lose to a weak team. I always say, Dallas, we will shoot ourselves in the foot first. We don't ever really get beat. We make enough mistakes to kick ourselves in the butt. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. Jay Will, how you feeling?
Um, I mean, I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm like you said, a win is a win. It's not so much of us almost losing. It's just the I'm just tired of seeing the same mistakes over and over from Dak Prescott. That's why I was so frustrated. It wasn't the fact of, oh, I hate when people say you almost lost to the Texans, bro. These are still professional athletes.
Yeah,
I
any
True.
mean,
given
it's
Sunday.
going to have weeks where the better team is off, it's just not clicking, and the underdog is clicking, and you're gonna have a battle. I mean, it's not college, it's the pros. Everybody's millionaires getting paid to play the game. I
Facts.
don't look into that. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, I feel like we get it so much because it's Dallas, because nobody said anything when Philly was supposed to lose to the Colts. They won by 1 point at the last second. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is another bad team. Philly's supposed to be the best. But enough with that. It's just the drive that we had to stop them in the red zone. That happened, that turnover, all that fumble, everything was because Dak tends to hold the ball too long, trying to make something out of nothing. Get rid of the ball. You still got another down to play. Stop forcing it when it's not there. If it's not there, bro, it's not there. It's
Yeah.
first down. You holding
Yeah.
the ball for 6 seconds. Now you get sacked. We fumble. Now we go back to the 2. Now they send an all-out blitz on the 2-yard line. Now your arm get hit. You throw a pick. All of that can be avoided if you just quit trying to be Superman, bro. Like, just it seems to happen every time the game is close. When
Right.
we up by a lot, Dak Prescott looks amazing. When the game is close, it don't matter who it is we playing. He's gonna find a way to make a mistake, and history repeats itself with him, bro. And I've been a big Dak fan. I'm still a Dak fan, but I'm not so. I don't think we'll ever. I really feel like these great defenses we're getting, is going to waste as long as Dak Prescott is our quarterback.
Wow.
Mm, that's a big one.
Hey, I mean, playoff football coming up soon. You know, before you know it, playoffs will be here, and I get your gripe about Dallas right now, but those are the type of games you need to play and need to win right now so that you can be battle tested
I
and
agree.
prepare for the playoffs. So even though it looks bad in real time, in reality, I think those type of games are helping Dallas more than it's hurting them because playoff football is going to be grinded out. You know what I mean? It's going to be a stiff defense. It's going to be a lot of running the ball, and the scores are going to be tight. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays, whether who's going to win the game. So if you're getting tested now like that, when you see it in the playoffs, it's going to come natural to you to be able to overcome those situations. So I'll take the positive from Dallas games. It was some other good games though this week. I'm very impressed with the Chargers. They put a hurting on the Dolphins, and the Dolphins is a team that everybody expects to be there at the end to be challenged to challenge to go to a Super Bowl. And now all of a sudden we were so high on Tua. Now
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not going to slander him, Fred.
Okay.
It's not me. I'm just saying. I'm just making this statement for my pastor. He told me to say this. So, he said, everybody was up on him in the beginning of the season, want to put him in the MVP conversation, but now things are starting to get a little rough for him.
It is.
And he's just not quite, he's not quite getting over the hump. Yeah, that curl just not. Yeah, and literally and figuratively, it's just not quite. It's not
Hey, Kobe. Okay, all right. Let me ask you guys this. We all saw the game. Shout out to Mo Money. He couldn't be with us tonight. We'll see you January 4th, Mo. But here's the thing, guys. Did he have a good game? No, he didn't. But what I noticed and what I didn't like, I didn't like the offensive play call, number one. Okay, number two, his offensive linemen, I mean, they didn't do jack shit, to be totally honest with you. They didn't block for him anything. And then third, wide receivers was missing passes, wasn't catching balls and stuff like that. But I do put the blame on, I put some of the blame on too as well. But I put majority on of the blame on the offensive play calling. I really do.
They missed some balls, but Tua threw some bad balls too.
He did, bro. He threw some bad balls, but the offensive play calling was whack as heck. I mean, just because I'm like, run the ball. Set everything off the run. You don't have the strongest offensive line. Yeah, I understand that they was a little thin in the secondary because they was missing Derwin James as well. But you could have ran the ball. You know what I'm saying? You could have ran the ball a lot more. You could have had. Oh, well, let us fall back. Let us fall back right quick because our special guest has just arrived. Breaking news, guys. I said, without further ado, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and to all our viewers and listeners out there, we're going to bring in. Oh, there it is. How you doing, Miss LaChina?
Hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
What's up?
Yep.
Yes. We're doing good.
Good.
Welcome
Thank
to
y'all
the
for
show.
having me.
Absolutely. Just want to say that it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on with us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all my honor. This is
Okay.
home, so I don't get to do this very often, with my people from back home. So I appreciate it.
All right, cool. All right,
we have to, Fredo. We got to get an introduction for all our viewers and listeners.
Yes.
Go ahead, fam.
We gotta let our audience know what type of treat they're getting this evening. So this young lady is an award-winning analyst and host. You've seen her on ESPN, Fox Sports Network, NBA TV, you've seen her pretty much everywhere. She's a former hoop star from TC Williams out of the DMV, Alexandria to be specific, and she went on to be a star basketball player at Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. So without further ado, she's also family from the hometown, Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome to the show, LaChina Robinson.
Thank you so much. You forgot to add to that I was part of the Bout It Honeys crew. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not the Bout It Honeys crew.
And not only am I from Alexandria, but I represent Delray.
Hey,
so Delray Honeys out there too.
Yes.
Mount Vernon, Court Kelly, GW. Like we got to put everybody on. We got to put it all out there.
Yes.
Shout out to Charles Houston.
Understand you got the Delray Honeys on the show tonight. Listen.
Yes, come on. I know that's right.
All right.
Okay, look here. We're not gonna waste no time, LaChina. Here's the thing. When did you decide that you wanted to play basketball?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I was a reluctant basketball player. I was one of those girls who wanted to do what was popular. All my friends were cheerleaders. So I was like, let me try cheerleading. And then obviously I grew very quickly. And I was like 6'4" at 14 years old. So there's no cheerleading outfit that was going to fit me at that point. And I do want to give a shout out to Michael J, who most of y'all know. I know
Untouchables. That's my guy.
Jay kept coming by my house, and he saw the height. And he was telling my mom, like, "You sure you don't want her to play basketball?" My mom was like, "Nah, we're good." And he kept coming. And one day, he mentioned to my mom that I could get a college scholarship, and that was it. She was like, "Oh, we'll be there tomorrow. What time do we need to be?" Because she was all about education. Even though, she wasn't big on sports at the time. And my older sister actually played Vashti, played at TC.
Yes.
So I got to give her some love.
Shout out to Vashti.
She led the way on the basketball side of the family. So, after that, I really started to love it, and being kind of tall as a young girl, I was awkward and didn't really know where I fit in the world. And then when I got on the basketball court, I was like, oh, this is it. It's over. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of where the love started.
Okay,
so how long did it take for you to kind of get your feet underneath of you after you started playing basketball?
Ooh, it took a while. Shout out to the Virginia Vogues, my AAU team, who I probably wasn't supposed to make that team, but they saw some promise in me. Yeah, they were one of the best back in the day. Fred Priester, who's still coaching in the area, still at Oakton, I believe. Legendary coach, but it took me a while because I was awkward. And when you haven't really played sport, you got this long body, trying to figure out what you're doing. It takes a while. It takes a lot of coaching and really a lot of patience by a lot of people across the board who were just like, saw the promise in me. But I didn't really start to really, really get it until I was probably a freshman in college. So it took me a little while. Like I was tall, but I wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? When you look back at TC girls basketball, like I can tell you all the players that were really good. Like obviously even coming after me, T. Pratt was great. And Corinne Reed, who I played with, was great. Ended up going to GW. Like those were the real legends on the court of TC Williams girls basketball. I was just tall. So I had to learn, my numbers were legit, but I wasn't really skilled. I didn't really get good until I got to Mr. Turner, obviously, Kobe's dad, taught me a lot. Definitely had me in the gym, him and Michael J. So I appreciated that, but I didn't get good until I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
Well, LaChina, I grew up with Vashti and we played basketball together. And I didn't get a chance to know you in high school, but I have to start by saying shout out from Beverly Lawson, my mother. I know you were
my goodness, Coach Lawson.
Hello from her.
Oh my gosh. Oh
yes.
You talk about an influence. So like when I think about the women in my life, like the role models, Coach Lawson was, oh my gosh, she was everything. Like obviously she was a legend for what she had done on the sports side things, the cheerleading and all of that. But like as a boss woman, like she was one of the first that I watched. I was like, she's so professional. She's beautiful. Like she commands respect. like seriously, your mom had a huge impact on my life. So that's so
that's
awesome.
very nice. I will
Yay.
make sure she sees this and maybe. Oh, she popped in. She said hello, China. So I'm
Oh,
glad.
there she goes.
glad
Hey. Oh.
What are some of your your favorite memories from high school and college? Because and then I want to know what prepped you for sports media.
Yeah, so I would say some of my favorite memories from high school were mostly all around sport, like just the competition of it. Like I remember even on the boys' side back in the day with Damon and like Mikey, like those, the guys that came like before I started playing, like those that kind of just got me into basketball as I was growing. And I remember even when I played, it was always more exciting on the boys' side. Like not to say the girls, we were all right, but some of my closest friends played. Like I don't know if you guys remember Brian Napper and Curtis McNeil. Those guys played on the private school side of things. But then, down the highway, you had Tyree and Corn. Guys that we had all kind of come up with. But then you get to high school, so those games were so fun because keep in mind, like the girls and guys used to kind of all play, like the way the schedule was, we all play the same schools, and then sometimes we would play in the same place, but then they, they started separating us. So some of my early memories were then, and then going to the rec centers, like growing up, those are always my favorite memories. Like I used to go to Mount Vernon Rec all the time. The talent shows, all my girls from the neighborhood. Those were like some of my favorite memories. And even in college, I would say like my favorite memories were all around sport. I didn't expect to be good. I started coming in as a freshman, ended up making all freshman team, playing in the ACC, beating Carolina, playing at Duke, like all those memories as an athlete, all those games, I think is really what stands out to you. But it's the people, right? Like along the way that you meet that make the journey great. And I've definitely had a lot of impactful people along the way.
So what got you pumped to be in sports media, to be an analyst? Is that something you wanted to do, or you kind of
felt? Well, my parents used to always say I like to talk a lot. I had a lot of mouth, right? So whenever something was going down, I always had something to say. So I think I got it honestly. And my dad actually, even though he never graduated from even middle school, like my dad dropped out of school really early, he went on to start one of the first Black newspapers in the Northeast, the Black New England Weekly. Wow. And so he was already in sports media to some degree. And then I mentioned, my mom was big on education. So she was always, pushing college or whatever, but never broadcasting. I thought I was going to be a lawyer because I like to argue. And then I was like, I'll be a psychologist because I used to watch psychology on TV. And, they would sit on the couch and talk about their problems. So I was like, oh, I can do that. But when I graduated from school, I didn't know what I was going to do. Like you get done with your college career and they're like, all right, well, thanks for coming. We appreciate everything. See you later. And I was like, well, I couldn't go pro at the time because I got injured my senior year. I hurt my back. So I was going to go overseas. That didn't work out. And I ended up getting a job in athletic administration working at the ACC and championships because I love sport. Like I knew I wanted to be around sport, but I just didn't know where. Yeah. And after getting that job, I was like, I'll be an athletics director. Well, that ended up being not exactly what I thought. And then when I was in my late 20s, I had like a quarter life crisis and ended up trying out radio, loved it. And then from there got into broadcasting, with a lot of hard work. Because people are like, you didn't even major in broadcasting. You weren't a communications major. Like, how did you get into this? But when God sets you up for something, it doesn't matter like what credentials you have, what you don't have. Like that's where he wanted me to be. And so he opened up the doors and here I am.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you. I am proud of you as a Titan also. So I have followed you, through my mom when you were in school. And then, I was like, what? Shit, ESPN too? Like, what's happening? So just really proud of you.
Absolutely. What you got, Jay Will?
All right, so I got two questions for you. My first question, so I saw you played in the ACC and you mentioned you played in the ACC. Talk us through
I think I lost y'all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, I didn't hear the end of what she was saying.
I was just saying I was proud of you, and then Jay Will started his question.
Go ahead, Jay Will.
Okay, thank you. But
Okay.
first, I see your name on here. But what's your real name?
Camila.
Uh-oh.
Can she,
She-
I think I lost
She
y'all
hear me?
again. Is that
Did
my
she
server?
freeze?
he freezing up. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Okay.
LaChana, can you hear us
Can you
now?
hear us, LaChana?
Camilla. Okay, yes. Now I remember you. I saw your
I think it's
on there,
delayed.
your little nickname, but
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what is her real name? Of course I remember you. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
No worries.
That was very
All right,
kind of y'all. And
Jay
I don't
Will.
know, we're having storms, so it may be my service, but y'all kind of going out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, I had 2 questions for you. So I saw, and you mentioned about playing in the ACC. So walk us through the feeling of when you became 3rd in school history in blocks at Wake Forest.
Good question. Oh no.
I think you may walk through me becoming 3rd in history in blocks. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, at Wake Forest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, like when I feel like when you're learning the game of basketball, and again, you're kind of tall, awkward, like defense kind of came to me easily.
Right.
Offense definitely was last, but I could defend and I could rebound. So
Right.
those were the 2 things that I really tried to, stick to, was like, can I rebound the ball? Can I play defense and do those 2 things well? If I could, I knew I could stay on the floor. So I just tried to hone in on those things.
Right.
And my coach kind of noticed that I was consistent and I was doing all the things that I needed to do. So I was getting more. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, your pitch is
Okay,
freezing up, but we
it
can
was
hear you
popping
good.
up the connection. Oh, okay. Oh, let me see if I can. Is this? Do y'all want me to keep these AirPods in? Because sometimes if you turn those off, the
It's
service gets
it's
better.
up
What
to you.
y'all
It's
think?
up to you if you want to.
Let me try this and see.
Okay.
Let me see.
Folks,
'Cause
this
I
happens. It is some gnarly storms across the
It sure is,
across
guys.
the nation. I know in Louisiana they having a possible tornado. So these types of issues happen, as you all know. Just bear with us.
Thanks, Mills. That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna try to turn
Okay,
this
yeah,
off and
just
see
bear
if
with us
it
for a second,
helps.
viewers and listeners.
Okay, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Jay Will.
Okay. All right. Let me try to keep these off because that might help. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Now you good. And my second question was, I ran across your recent Instagram post about something that happened recently that I'm sure everybody's pretty happy about. And you didn't say much words about it, but walk us through and tell us like your true raw feelings of when Brittany Griner got released.
good question, Jay Will.
Oh man. I can't even, it's hard to even put into words right now, like the joy that I feel like with Brittany coming home. Well, people don't understand. So I first met Brittany for the first time in her freshman year in college at Baylor. And this was probably 2009. It was also my first year with ESPN. So my very first game was calling one of Brittany's freshman games. And Brittany is one of the kindest, like sweetest, most giving. Like she will give you the shirt off her back. She's very intimidating, right? At 6'9", she looks so scary, but biggest heart, like just the sweetest human. And so you don't ever want this to happen to anyone, but definitely Brittany.
Right.
And it's just been hard. There were times this season where, I'm getting ready to call a game and I'm like, y'all, are we really about to play basketball? Like Brittany is not here. And she's such a big part of the WNBA. Yes, physically, with her skill set, one of the best players in the world, can dominate, can dunk, was, one of the best players in our last Olympic gold run, was just phenomenal. So you could talk about that aspect of who she is all day, but she's just larger than life as a person, as a personality. And so it was hard. And many of us also are very close to Sherelle, you know, her wife.
Right.
And just to watch what they were experiencing, what her family was going.
I think we lost you again, LaChina.
So yeah, it's that inclement weather down there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll just, like I said, we'll keep it. Like I said, we'll keep it
Her
going,
touches
guys. And like I said, and hopefully she can connect.
Okay.
You good, LaChina?
LaChina, see if you can sign off and
Yeah,
sign back on.
Yeah. Hey, Cobra.
Yeah.
I'm going to remove her and then see if she come back on. Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
We'll keep man. Hey, Jay Will, that was a great question.
That was a great
man. I had look here. Yeah, I had that in the I had that on my list as well, man, because I wanted to know her overall feelings in terms of the Brittany Griner situation, her being released. I said creative.
baby girl on here
baby
tonight.
girl.
I wonder
Okay.
if that's Vashti.
Huh? Is that Vashti?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out her older sister. But yeah, that Brittany Griner, I mean, I was so happy, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know, none of us knew, you know, and
Right.
you know, the conversations around, you know, should Paul Whelan have come home? Hey, Vashti.
What's up, Vashti? Shout out to Vashti.
The conversations, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm happy that, you know, our president and whomever, they were working on her behalf. And, you know, sometimes we don't have to know everything that's going on, right?
Right.
They're working on it. So the fact that she was released, I hope that the media kind of leaves her alone for a little bit. You know,
Right.
if I had the power and wanted the interview, I would slip her a note and say, whenever you're ready. You know, it may not even be me coming to me first, but whenever you're ready, because we can't even fathom her emotional space right now.
No.
So I see you back, LaChina. Can you hear us?
Oh no. Can you hear us, LaChina?
Yeah, I got y'all. I tried Chrome now to see if that helps.
Okay. Jay, well, I don't know if you want to react to the question.
No, she was just telling us. I think she got cut off when she was saying about y'all were close with her wife Sherelle as well.
LaChina? Yeah, okay.
It's one of those nights.
It's just one of those nights. It's one
So
of those.
we have a question.
Yeah.
I think Vashti
Yeah.
said she was happy and overwhelmed too, but why are so many of us mad about it?
Yeah, I want to speak on that. You know,
Go ahead, bro.
Because it's so many people saying, "Oh man, we traded a basketball player for somebody in power over in Russia." But I really want everybody to think like if it was your family member or if it was your spouse, if it was any three of y'all, like I would want them to send whoever back to get y'all back over. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people are just worried about the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like that guy that they sent back. What does that have to do with you? You should be happy that a loved one to somebody else was able to come home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I feel like people are too caught up in who they sent back. I mean, you should be happy Brittany Griner is home. She was getting, I mean, bro, she was literally not physically, but she was getting by the system. She was getting raped by the system, bro. 9 years for that pen. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous, bro. It was ridiculous. Everybody should be happy she home.
And shout out to her because from what I read, one of the first questions she asked was, "How's Paul Whelan and what was his situation?" And I know he was happy because he sent the note as well. He was happy that she made it home.
Right.
So I know from what I read, a quote from Brittany Griner that she was going to do everything she can from her end to see if Paul Whelan can get home.
Which is
just
good.
because, yeah. So I mean, I think that. As Jay Will said, look, if we can get anyone home, anybody who wants your family members, your loved ones home, no matter what it takes to get them back, you know,
right.
You know, to me, it took too long. I mean, I'm glad it happened, but 10 months is a very long time.
Yeah.
And especially when you're talking about a young lady that shouldn't have been over there incarcerated in the first place.
Yeah, Vashti, I see it. Yeah, hate comes in all colors. You know what I'm saying? I'm never surprised. There's always a section or a group of people who are black who have something to say. Well,
Yeah.
she shouldn't have had weed or whatever she had first. She knew she broke the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bigger than that. Like, you got to look at, what's happening in the world and why she was the pawn. Right. And I truly believe that she was the pawn. But again, let's be happy that she's home again. I hope that I hope people just give her a minute. And I wouldn't be mad if she wasn't necessary. Not that she's not supporting Paul Whelan, but give me a minute, right?
Yes.
Before
Right.
yeah, I want him home, but I got to gather myself together. Again, we have
Right.
no idea what is happening in her mind right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking they didn't implanted a chip in her. Like, I'm going real sci-fi. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
It's not out of the question.
we don't know.
Know. So
Yeah.
again, just get her well, make sure that she's with her family. I can't even that reunion, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that. So, just be happy that she's home and try to trust the process in diplomacy and getting her back. So, and getting Paul Whelan back. And again, a lot of people get real hateful sometimes about it, but they're being very selfish about it too.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of hate on Facebook, and I was like actually surprised, and it was like by us. And I was like, really? I mean, it's one thing to have an opinion, man, but you going all in. I mean, like, this lady life don't matter at all.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're doing too much. To all the viewers and listeners out there, we apologize once again. We do have special guest LaChana Robinson on with us, but unfortunately, we have some technical difficulties at this present time. So we'll see if we can get her back on. But let me piggyback off that, guys. Yeah, we're all, to a man, very happy that Brittany's home, right? And we know that WNBA players don't make a lot of money. So what they do to make up the difference is they play overseas. It goes back to my point, and we spoke about this earlier sometime this year, what have you, in terms of what do the WNBA need to do, or what can the WNBA do, or the NBA, if they can work collectively together to make more money so that these ladies don't have to go overseas to make additional money, you know what I'm saying, to make a living.
I raised my hand. I want to go first.
Go.
Y'all may know what the female soccer players, U.S. soccer women, what they're getting a cut of the World Cup from the men. So let's do that. Let's get a cut. And they're getting, and they were the headlines were like, the women are cleaning up because this is the World Cup and they're get half of what the men do. So let's do that. Let's offer some suggestions. Let's give the women half of the revenue that comes in for the men, or they share it. That's number one.
And that's good that you said that, Mills, because I brought that up, but I don't think it went. I mean, I don't think I got a lot of traction on it. Hold on, let me stop right quick. I think we got LaChana back. Let me bring her back in. Hey, LaChana, you good?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I literally,
okay.
I stream all my TV all day long, Hulu, HBO Max, everything, because y'all know I'm pay for cable, and nothing freezes anything, but there are storms, so I am so sorry. I apologize, but
no need to
look on my separate podcast. I got girlfriends coming in from Dubai, no problem. Every time I get a guest from New York City, I'm like, what cable you got? Y'all jacked up.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
New York.
Hey, LaChana. I just brought up a question before you came back in. I want to pose it to you. Now that we have Brittany Griner back, and I was basically asking the group, what can the NBA and the WNBA or whatever collective parties do to compensate for these ladies to make more money so they don't have to go overseas to make a living?
Ooh, that's a great question. And it really comes down to decision making on behalf of the big business and the sponsorships, quite honestly. Like, if you watch an NBA game, you're gonna see, and I'm just mentioning these companies. I don't know,
right.
They may have a stake in both sides or whatever, but you're gonna see say, and I'll make it up, brought to you by LaChinaRobinson.com and brought to you by so-and-so water and brought to you by light bulbs from this. I mean, all these companies, they get their names mentioned, they get their signage put on the court, they do all of that on the NBA side. That's a sponsorship deal. There's money that comes with that, right? And so the league is very well supported. Well, when these same organizations are going into the business room and they're making decisions about where they want to put money, women's sports is just not there. The last number I heard was 1% of all sports sponsorships goes to women's sports. People are not investing in women's sports in the same way. The business model is very different. So when you're making that kind of marketing money, then you have more money to spread across the board. You know, the owners are making more money. I mean, it's just, you got to do the math. The other part of it is I know they're going to renegotiate their TV deal. Revenue split is a conversation that, you know, they've had, and it's gotten better in this CBA. They weren't getting their fair share on that end of things. But at the end of the day, this is what I want people to stop saying. The women are not trying to get paid equal to the men. That is not the argument. Nobody is saying that the MVP on the women's side, you know, Asia Wilson should make the same as LeBron James. They're not. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying they want to make more money. Absolutely. It doesn't make sense that one NBA player can pay the entire salary for the league, you know, of the WNBA. Like, there's got to be somewhere in between they can meet. But again, it comes down to sponsorship money. It comes down to TV revenue. And it comes down to that revenue split in the CBA deal. Those are the three areas where that you're going to see that number move and there really be an impact. Therefore, they won't have to go overseas and play. Okay,
but let me ask you this then. Is it anything that like the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant's and all these other superstars can do to, you know what I'm saying, to use their impact, you know, to spread light on the situation for these ladies can make the money that they solely deserve so they don't have to go overseas? I
mean, they shouldn't have to do this, right? Like, here's the thing. It shouldn't be on them, but they are the brethren of the WNBA, and the NBA is already, in some senses, you know, subsidizing the WNBA, right? So we know there are already monies being shared. I think when the LeBrons of the world sit at the table, they can say, listen, y'all also need to be looking to give some money to the W. You know what I'm saying? Like, just them in those rooms, in that sphere of influence with that contract on the table. But like, what are y'all doing for the women? Like, before you sign on that dotted line, like, okay, but what are y'all doing for the W? Even just asking that question in on the business side, because they're very supportive. They, you know, they wear the hoodies. They show up at games, they're courtside, all of that stuff. But we need to take that now into the boardroom. Like, when money is being handed out, it's a simple question. Like, y'all doing anything for the WNBA?
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. I heard an interview. It was a past interview. And you basically said, you said that the ACC is the best conference in America. You stand by that right now?
Listen. Y'all know that it ebbs and flows, right? Like, depending on what's on. But what I will say is that, to me, the ACC is more a pure basketball conference than any other Power 5 conference. You can't debate me on that. The SEC is a football conference. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? Pac-12 probably got Olympic sports on lock. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got their thing. But when it comes to basketball, like, the biggest rivalry exists in the ACC, which is Duke Carolina. When you look at the NBA, the number of players, you know, from ACC schools, like, to me, it's just not even close. Now, I know other conferences are catching up. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I'm gonna stick to that no matter what.
Okay. But you know, once upon a time, it was always a debate: ACC versus Big East in terms of hoops.
Right. It was
true story.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the Big East got some skin in the game. I'm not gonna lie, like, legit. But still, back on road, nah, nothing comes.
True story. Yeah. What's your take on NIL and the transfer portal?
Oh, it's all a mess.
Thank
It's
you.
all a mess. I
Thank
mean,
you.
it just, to me, it takes away from what I love about the purity of college athletics. Now, I do believe the student athletes should get paid. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But the way that NIL is going to start to change decision making around what schools these kids are going to, around what state they want to be in, around, I mean, it's just, there's just recruiting. I mean, I would hate to be recruiting at any of these colleges right now because you can do everything right. And that kid about to make $45 more over here. And I'm just being, funny, $45 more on the NIL, and that might be it. Right. And so it's going to be crazy the way the landscape starts to shift. The one thing that I do think we'll see happen, and I can't remember, they were talking about maybe the kid from Kentucky, men, who's really good. But they said that, he had decided to stay instead of going to the NBA. I do think you'll see more college men's basketball players stay in school instead of leaving for the NBA because they're going to be making some dough in college, right? It used to be, we going to make this jump because we need this money. But now they getting, some fair dollars. So we may not see as many make that early jump and instead, see more college men's basketball players in particular, stay and go to school.
And I agree with you. I like the fact that that these players get paid. I'm not mad at that, but I do think the transfer portal is hurting or starting to hurt college sports, and they need to put some type of stipulation on that in terms of like starting date, end date at least, because I think I got into it with my one of my other hosts over here, Jay Will, in terms of the transfer portal in the past. What I don't like, LaChana, is look here, stick it out. This is you chose. Look here, you chose this university, this college, or this coaching staff for a reason. And it seems like these kids today, when they don't have their way or they don't get their way, everybody wants to transfer. And I don't like that. I am not a proponent of that whatsoever. And you say what to that?
Well, here's what I'll say. I do think there needs to be a little more regulation. Like I liked it when players had to sit out a year. I did, because I think you sit out a year, you think about your life, you have time to reflect. Like I don't like, the immediate transfer. But the counter to that argument is everybody else in the world changes jobs when they're not happy.
Thank you.
The college coaches gonna jump when that money is right somewhere else. Like everybody else has that freedom, and we are talking about, for the most part, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds.
Thank you.
Grown-ups, they're adults.
They still, thank you.
Yeah, and so, but I'm with you. It doesn't feel good for those of us that want to see that player matriculate, or our favorite school got a #1 recruit and we like, we about to be money for the next 4 years, and then we not because she's leaving. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. It sucks, but like college athletics is changing. We gonna have to suck it up and realize that it's just not the same.
Yeah.
LaChana, I want to talk about your organization you co-founded, Rising Media Stars. Can you tell us what you all do, and how long has it been created? All of the things.
Yeah, so about 4 years ago now, we started Rising Media Stars, and it's a nonprofit where basically my co-founder Kevin Nixon and I are providing networking tools, training for women of color that want to get into sports broadcasting. I don't want to be the only one. I want there to be, and there are some of us here, but not enough Black women in front of the camera. And I think that the number that we see in front of the camera should be reflective of the number of Black females we see playing sport, right? Like they should have the same opportunities when they're done. So my hope is that when I leave the game, there'll be that many more LaChina Robinsons and Robin Roberts and Maria Taylors than there were when I got in the game. But basically what we do is we've got 3 classes of women now. We skipped 1 year because of COVID. We just couldn't offer them the full experience. But every year we bring in 5 women and women of color. And we have a partnership with the 4 of the sports teams in Atlanta. We're working on the Braves, but right now we have the Hawks, the Falcons, United, and the Dream. So they get to come down to Atlanta and they actually do their stand-ups and do recording so that they can not only get practice and getting into the field, but also so that they can have some work to show to be hired. Because that was the biggest thing for me is I would, show up and be like, all right, I want to be on TV. And they're like, well, let me see your work. I'm like, well, nobody has hired me yet.
Right.
This program gets you that experience. It gives you mentoring. And we have like classroom sessions where the girls learn like how to ask questions and when do I need to hire an agent. So all the things in the transition of getting into the real world or getting into that field that I wish I had, that now we're trying to reach back.
Same. Yeah.
Right. It's a mess. You like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I gonna do with my life now? So,
Yeah.
but more than anything, it's a safe place for Black women to be Black women. Like you don't realize like what we face every day at work, trying to get paid. We don't get paid as much as Black men, as white women. We're not respected. We're not visible. We're not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so this group, I hope more than anything, provides a sisterhood in a place where they can feel celebrated and appreciated.
Right.
That's wonderful.
That's dope.
And LaChina, let me kind of piggyback off of Mill's question. Who was your OG coming up? Who was your mentor as a sports analyst?
Man, a lot of women. I was telling somebody this the other day that I really didn't have that crabs in a barrel experience. Like you hear a lot of people like, oh gosh, other women, they're always trying to get like, I have had a little bit of that later in my career, but coming up, so many women were willing to sit down with me and talk to me about the game, whether that's Carolyn Peck or, a Debbie Antonelli. Doris Burke has always been willing to, have a word with me. And, Doris is a straight shooter. Let me tell you.
I love Doris.
Doris is you may have 2 conversations with Doris every year, but when she done, most of the time her finger's doing this right here. And she done said not 3 or 4, but probably 5 or 6 F words.
She's an OG.
And whatever she told you to do, you about to go do it.
Right.
Robin Roberts was one of my first like very impactful interviews. Who taught me how to be myself. Like she was so comfortable in her own skin. I was like, how can I do that? Like, how can I be that? And I think sometimes we think about our mentors or our role models as people that we can touch. But sometimes just people you can see. Like somebody shows you a vision of what you can be. But those are the women in sports media. But I would say probably one of the most impactful women for me in my journey was, when I was 15 years old, trying to decide if I was going to be serious about this basketball thing or not. I caught Lisa Leslie playing in the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. And I was like, boy, she is gorgeous, charismatic, but she is mean on the basketball court. I was like, boy, she could dominate, but she was so many other things too. She was funny. She was smart. She went to college, all of that. So when I saw that, I was like, there may be somewhere else I can go in the world. So she was someone that always sticks out in my mind for me.
Okay. So now that you arrived, you're pretty much everywhere. ESPN, NBA TV, Fox Sports Network. Like I mentioned early on in the show, where's your journey going to take you now? Where do you see yourself going in this business?
Well, first of all, you never arrive. I would not say that. I feel like this is always a journey of trying to grow, trying to be better, trying to hone your craft. But for me, I love what I'm doing now. Actually, I don't know if I can say anything, but you guys, there'll be some news coming out pretty soon where my relationship with ESPN and WNBA is going to grow. So I'm excited about that. I've been doing a lot of hosting. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been doing a lot of hosting lately, which I'm enjoying. I served as a host in the Tokyo Olympics for NBC and liked it. I'm used to being a basketball analyst and chopping it up about X and O's, but here I was, sitting down with world-class Olympians and learning other sports. And it was like, wow, this is really cool. Sometimes, not that I don't appreciate and love the game of basketball, but sometimes you just want to learn something new, do something. Right. So that's been a lot of fun in hosting. I'm hoping to be a part of the Olympics again. I called my first ever USA basketball game in the Olympics in Tokyo. I still can't even believe that happened. But it would be a dream to be a part of the Paris Olympics. And then obviously when it comes to LA. So those are some things that I've had my eyes on, but really focus on growing my nonprofit. There's nothing in basketball that I could say that I haven't done that I've wanted done. I've worked on the NBA side. I've done, everything really on the W side from the finals. I worked the Final Four. So it's really just now about kind of finding out who LaChina is outside of basketball.
That's good.
Yeah.
Weird, but it's been fun. It's been a fun journey, and I'm learning new things about myself like every day.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you too. Do you ever see yourself doing something outside of sport? Because we had your girl on last week, Monica McNutt.
Oh
Shout out
my
to
God.
Monica McNutt.
And she said her ultimate goal was to be a game show host.
And she could. Okay,
Mhm.
Monica.
I believe it.
Let me say, my girl Monty, boy, she just watch out. First of all, I always tell people this about Monica. I have met maybe, and this is in person, I would say 3 women in broadcasting who I kind of watched their path and said to myself, she's a generational talent. And with a generational talent, I would say 4 is women who can just do it all and at a very high level, and that they're so special that you may not ever see another one of them again. That is Monica. Monica is so multi-talented.
Shit.
If she wants to be a game show host, if the girl wants to be in politics, if she wants to be, now she's gonna be funny about it, if she's gonna do it her way, but she's got it, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is Andrea Carter and Zora Stevenson, and Zora Stevenson is actually a Northern Virginia product, so y'all need to watch out for her in broadcasting. And then Maria Taylor, the great Maria Taylor. And so, yeah, Monty, I can see her be. What would I do outside of basketball? You know, I'm not gonna lie. I recently took up photography.
Okay.
And I think I could be pretty good at it. I think I've got an eye.
That's dope.
Yeah. Now I can't quite work the camera yet. I mean, I can zoom in and do like some basic things, but if I really learn how to use my camera, like I definitely think I could be a noteworthy photographer.
All right. Okay. Hey, Jay Will, go ahead and tell viewers and listeners what they need to do.
Make sure they hit the subscribe button and turn on that post notifications bell to get all notifications for our videos.
There you go. Okay, so LaChina, this is the part where it's about to get interesting. This is rapid. This is the No Cap Sports Show podcast roundtable rapid fire. I can promise you we're going to be gentle with you, so we're not going to be too hard. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mills, you ready?
I'm gonna start. LaChina. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, LaChina. Can you cook?
No.
Oh.
All right. What's your favorite food then?
Favorite food is salmon.
Okay. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Jay-Z. Easy.
Wait a minute. 90s Jay-Z or 2000s Jay-Z?
Reasonable doubt, Jay-Z.
Okay.
Or hip hop.
Whatever that was. That's
old
my
school. Okay. What's your favorite hype song to get you motivated pregame before announcing a game?
Ooh, Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, Can't Knock the Hustle.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
Took
What's
it back.
well, you just answered. I was gonna say your favorite hobby. You've taken up photography.
Yes.
Is that what you're gonna say? All right.
Easy. Come on.
All right. Wait a minute. Fred got some stuff, but one last question. What's your favorite type of music?
My favorite type of music is probably hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Fred.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of hip hop, who's your favorite? So, give me your top 3 favorite hip hop artists of all time.
Oh man, all time. So I don't know. Some people get funny about rap and hip hop. We consider Jay-Z.
You darn right. Absolutely. That's a pioneer.
So I'm going Jay. Ooh.
Come on, Tupac.
I mean, Pac is there, but I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I am a really, really big, and y'all might boo me on this, but I'm a big Wale fan. I really love
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so I'll go Jay, Wale, Pac, Biggie, and I know I might get some slack for this one too, but see, I like Drake, but that's more new school. But I'm gonna get some slack for this. I'm gonna say it's a tie between Rick Ross.
Okay, Big Meech.
And
I said Big Meech.
Yeah, yes, Rick Ross, and it was Nas.
Okay, you scared
Oh,
me for a
absolutely.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me
thought you
and
weren't
Kobe
gonna
was
mention
nervous to the hook
Nas.
in church. Okay, I'm glad. I was like,
Had a
oh,
big
she better
conversation
put
about
Nas in there.
Nas.
I love Nas. It was written. That's when I fell in love with Nas.
All right. Okay. Now, yeah, we good to go now. Tim Duncan or CP3?
I mean,
Come
well,
on, LaChina.
here's how I'm gonna divide. Here's how I'm gonna. Yeah, give me a second. So
You cheat.
Chris is near and dear to my heart because when I was at Wake, we used to go watch Chris play in high school because he's from Winston-Salem. So we used to go watch him play. Oh, little Chris, he's so cute. Yeah, Chris was a baller, right? So love Chris. We still, keep in touch, whatever, all those things. But from a Wake Forest on the map, world champion, dominated the game, one of the best of all time in his position, I got to go Tim Duncan. Like, Timmy was the man. Let's be honest.
Okay. All right.
What y'all feeling like? Because I don't see y'all.
No, I'm feeling good about that pick.
I like Tim Duncan. I like Tim Duncan.
Okay,
Tim Duncan without question.
Absolutely. Okay, Don Staley or Kim Mulkey?
Ooh.
Did you really just ask me that?
I mean,
Don,
exactly.
I'm just trying to test your gangster. That's it.
No. Don is an icon.
Okay. On a one-on-one between you and Chiney Abumake, who will win?
I mean, Shanae is more skilled than me, but I'm willing to get real dirty.
Say it. This is the No Cap Sports podcast. Say it.
Coming to the game to lose.
I am like nasty competitive. Like, you don't want to do anything against me. Like, I'm pulling out all the stops to win. Spades, table tennis, like basketball. It doesn't matter.
So basically, you giving Chiney the business.
I'm giving her the business, and she's had a few injuries. So
there it is. You heard it first. You heard it first on the No Cap Sports Show podcast. That's what tell the viewers and listeners where you from.
Me? I'm from the NBA all day.
There it is. All right. We just want to get them straight. That's it.
But
okay.
One more quick question for LaChina, real quick. I talked about self-care with Monica the other week. And I want to know what self-care for you looks like.
Yeah, self-care is important. And I know Monica is really big on it. It's taken some time for me to really get into it. You hit the ground running in this career. And I'm a 1,000,000-miler on Delta. So do y'all know how often I fly? Like, my life is like a blur. Wow. So self-care is an afterthought. But I've learned, like, I get up in the morning, I do 10 minutes of meditation. I am big on massages, so I'll get a 2-hour massage every week when I can, but every 2 weeks for sure, which is good for me for self-care. I like to take myself to the movies. That's one of my self-care activities. Yes. I like my photography. That's part of my self-care. I like to take long vacations. So Monty will tell you I'll disappear for like 3 weeks. Like during COVID, I think I lived in Mexico for like a month and a half straight.
Yeah.
And like won't blink. Now, my mother lived in Barbados for 10 years. So for us to go over to an island and disappear is nothing.
Yeah.
So I like to do that from time to time too. But it's also, self-care is setting boundaries. I have 15 siblings and a big family. And so like, you got to make sure that in the midst of all the things that are going on, that, you're taking care of yourself. And I've had to learn to say no.
Yeah.
Just not taking everything that people offer you, like as far as work, making sure you're setting your values and, your value as far as what you get paid, all those things. Like those are forms of self-care, like valuing yourself and not allowing anyone to cheapen who you are. Like that's all self-care. So those are some of the things I enjoy doing.
Okay. All right. Back to this rapid fire right quick. Okay. So you need one of these 3 female artists to save your life. Janet Jackson, Beyonce, or Whitney Houston.
What is the skill?
It's no see. See, you want to throw dirt in the game.
Who was the first one?
Okay, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, or Whitney Houston. You need one of these. You need one of the 3.
It's definitely between Beyonce and Whitney. No offense to Janet, but in order to be in this discussion, you have to be the best.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Janet is really good at a lot of things. Beyonce's the best performer I've ever seen. Whitney Houston's the best singer that
Okay.
I've ever heard. So,
And who's the best overall?
Mhm.
I'm gonna say Beyonce.
All right, there it is. Worst travel destination.
Worst. I hate to say this because I had such a good experience there, but it was hard to get to. So I have been to Itta Bena, Mississippi. Y'all know what school is in Itta Bena?
No.
No.
Mississippi Valley State. Get y'all HBCUs together, okay?
Wow.
Apparently.
Called a game there. Had a great time, but boy, traveling, woo, it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brett Favre that owed Mississippi $5 million. Pay it back, Brett Favre. ASAP.
Let us not forget.
Absolutely. Let us not forget. Give me your top 5 WNBA players currently.
Top 5 currently: Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart. Let's see, Skylar Diggins Smith. Who else is on my first team? I say Alyssa Thomas. Probably one. Went to Maryland.
Nice.
Terp. And then, I just feel like you can never, even though, let me see, where am I going to go with this final select? Oh, God, how could I forget? Elena Deladon.
I
was about to say
you
that.
came around. You had us nervous again.
Now,
Okay.
when she's healthy now, she's been
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That back.
When she's healthy, Elena Deladon, and I've said this with no problem, she's my favorite player to watch, in the WNBA.
She is multi-skilled.
Skill set is stupid.
All right.
Versatility is stupid.
Good. Top 5 NBA players currently.
Top 5 NBA: Giannis, Steph. Now keep in mind, I don't watch as much NBA. I would say Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and I know y'all may not like this, but I'm going with LeBron.
Fred mad because you didn't put KD in there. That's why
KD,
he
I was like, Lord, you didn't say.
KD didn't make the cut, huh?
Okay, so KD would have been my 5th instead of LeBron. You're right. I love
don't
KD.
like
Okay.
it.
Right.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
okay.
like it.
It's okay. So
I
you're
like
telling
it.
everybody that
Don't
KD
be
has
fresh.
replaced LeBron in your top 5.
Yes.
There you have it. Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate you.
In my mind, but you're right. But and only because it's a little recency bias because I went to the Wizards Lakers game, and even though AD had 55 points, LeBron it doesn't make any sense that he's that good at his age. And even in the fourth quarter, he should have been exhausted. He had taken 0 breaks. He hadn't sat on the bench once the entire fourth quarter, and he was dunking. He was putting on a show for the fans in DC. I was like, I have so much respect for this man, and made it look easy. But you're right. I love KD, so I will replace my 5 with him.
Okay.
So
last
the
question.
the way I interpret that is LeBron is too good to be subjected to a top 5. He's at
That's not what you heard.
Because he said top 5 right now. So what I'm
Right
thinking
now.
is how they're playing right now. Jason Tatum wouldn't really be in my top 5, but he's having an amazing year. He's an MVP candidate.
He really is, man. Shout out to Jason Tatum.
I'm saying the way that they're playing as we speak.
Got you. Cheryl Swoops or Cynthia Cooper?
Oh, I had that
Woo!
one too.
I go with Swoops because I don't think Cheryl Swoops gets enough respect for the defensive player she was. And I'm that person that I'm not voting for you as my MVP unless you play both ends of the floor. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
All these people that's like, oh, you an MVP because you can score this many points. That's fine. But the basketball court is 94 feet. You giving up 30 points on this end. And Cheryl was defensive player of the year a number of times in her career.
Yeah.
So she was sometimes guarding the best player and putting up 30.
There it is. Lisa Leslie or Cheryl Miller. And I'm done.
So for you got to think about the fact that Cheryl's career was cut short.
Mhm.
But in the time that she played,
oh my God,
Cheryl Miller would have been the best player to ever. If she would have been able to extend her career, she would have been the best player to ever touch the court.
I agree.
Now, as her career went on, Lisa would accomplish more, but Cheryl Miller is definitely one of the greatest, no doubt.
I agree.
Agreed.
So let me give you my real quick. I only got a few of them for you.
No, you good. Listen, y'all we can hear each other now, so we
let's get
Let's
it.
go. I'm gone.
Let's get it now. Yeah.
Carolyn Peck or Doris Burke?
Doris.
Okay.
Candace Parker or Lisa Leslie?
Candace.
Women college basketball or WNBA?
WNBA.
Monica McNutt or Malika Andrews?
Monica.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Monica McNutt.
Monty.
Okay, and if you can build a team of sports analysts,
Ooh.
9 others, including yourself, to go against another team of sports analysts, who are the other 9 people you will have on your team to go anywhere and battle it out?
Woo! You
Damn.
want 9. You don't even want the rest of starting 5. You want the whole team.
I want the whole team.
Okay, so I'm going with. Oh man, this is tough. So I'm going with. Okay, myself, Doris Burke. I'm going with Raft. He's one of my favorite all-time. Bill Raftery on the.
Yes, it is. Man.
Like I said, me, Doris, Bill, Jay Billis, Carolyn Peck,
Carolyn's good.
Andrea Carter, up and coming.
Yes.
I really like I like Mark Jackson. I do.
Yes.
He's different. I like how he comes up with his own little snazzy. Let me see. And this is basketball analyst, right? Like game analyst. Debbie Antonelli is really good. Just trying to think of people that kind of stand out in what they do. Let me think. Who else? I used to like Vera Jones back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember Vera, but she used to do some WNBA work. And then I would say Robin Roberts. She was really good.
Yeah.
You know, when she was calling games.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, like I said, you passed with flying colors. It got a little sticky, you know what I'm saying, here and now, but like I said, you prevailed at the end of the day.
I came through.
Absolutely, you came through big time. Is it anything that you want to plug, like I said, before we depart?
No, I did want to go back to Brittany Griner because I didn't know
Go ahead.
how much was actually coming through when we were talking about her. But I was just saying like how amazing of a person Brittany is. And you know, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that Brittany played in Russia for most of her career. So we're talking about the last 10 years, like since she has left Baylor, a majority of that 10 years, her offseason has been spent in Russia. She has won them championships. She has put them on the map, you know, on the basketball end of things. She has lived in their communities, has been a pillar in sports, has done a lot for that country. And I don't think people realize this wasn't a one-time thing where Brittany was just, you know, headed back to Russia and play. She has spent probably more time there in her professional life than she has on the WNBA court.
Yeah.
So that was what was most shocking to those of us that were watching what Brittany was going through was, I can't believe that this is happening to her when they know her. They know who she is, what she stands for. They know that if this all actually happened, it was a mistake. Like Brittany is, you know, she has knee problems. She has whatever reason.
Right. And
from what we understand, and I don't want to get too far into the legalities of this, but there have been cases where there were people that had way more, you know, cannabis or whatever than she had, and had been just got a fine or just, you know, whatever, a little slap on the wrist. So for her to get the maximum penalty of 9 years, we were so confused about all that. It was very clear that she was being used as a pawn, you know, like
political pawn,
because it just wasn't adding up. But again, I just go back to the person Brittany has been and like how kind and her personality and all that. And that's the part I want people to see. Like when, I don't know if y'all saw the clip when they showed her on that plane, but when she smiled on that plane,
beautiful smile.
That was a moment for all of us. Like we took a deep collective sigh because I was like, oh, there's Brittany. It was the first time since all this happened that we had actually seen any sign of her being herself. Like this is unprecedented for someone to go through this. You never know what the mental, and we still don't know what the mental, psychological, physical impacts of all this will be. But you know, I just think it's so messed up that in this moment people are making this an argument between Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan. It's like
Mhm.
we want everybody to get free.
Come on.
We all do. You know, even Joe Biden said he tried to make a deal 1-for-1 with Victor and Paul, and they wouldn't do it. Like Russia would not discuss Paul Whelan at all. And so even his family came out and said, listen, there was no deal on the table for him. Like, we're happy for Brittany. And I just love what her wife has done with Sherelle, with saying, listen, we're going to do everything we can to free people that are there. We're going to keep working hard for everyone. But I just hated that this moment was a moment of division. But what it told me once again, because I believe that this is always at the heart of things, Brittany is a Black woman and she's queer. And the world does not value Black women, queer, like at all. So there would have been no situation where people would have been happy and felt like it was a fair trade for Brittany's life, because our life as Black women in this country is already devalued. So it's, you know, for me to be surprised, you know, because I was a little disappointed at all this uproar. I guess I shouldn't be, because this is the world we live in.
Yeah,
But I am very happy for Brittany, and you know, I hope Paul gets free as well. Like I want everybody to come home, but
Yes,
it's gonna be a Merry Christmas for those of us that love Brittany, because the year couldn't have ended on a better note.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
And let me ask you this, China, because this is a question that came up on one of our other shows. It's a two-part question. What's your opinion on how the Biden administration handled the whole situation of trying to get Brittany back? And the second part of that question, do you think that the Trump administration would have had more success?
Go on, Kobe.
So, you know, it's hard for me to say or to judge or to try to gauge or to grade the job that Biden did in, you know, with this whole Brittany Griner situation, because we are people, and as we should be, we want things done now. We want to know how it's done. We want to know who's involved. We want to know, you know, but hostage situations are obviously different. And I understand that there's some things that needed to happen behind the scenes, conversations that we weren't privy to. I don't know. What I do know is that people can be irrational, as we know. And I don't know how difficult it is to try to rationalize with irrational people. And so whatever that took, I'm glad that Brittany is home. But for us to try to make sense of how long it took and what those conversations were like, well, we already know who his adversary was, who Joe Biden was trying to negotiate with. Who knows? You know what all that took to make it happen.
right.
And I don't even speak the T word, to be honest. So I don't even want to discuss this man.
Right.
But no, I have zero faith in anything that he could do, ever did. But I mean, he's so, no, I don't. Because do I think he would have actually tried to get Brittany Griner out? No.
And he didn't try to get Paul Whelan out. So
I was about to say he didn't even try.
Regardless of his relationship with Russia or not, would he had tried to get Brittany out? No, he wouldn't have even tried.
Wow.
yeah.
And that's, I mean, look, that's good that you answered that, because like I said, I was on the side of he would have, and I'm not a fan of the guy at all. So, but I was like, he would do it, but he would do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we need to elaborate further in terms of that. Meaning that he would do it, but he would do it. Yeah, it wouldn't be heartfelt. It would be for other reasons. Unfortunately.
Well, you know what, Fredo? I think a lot of people was going off the fact that in the past, you know, he helped A$AP Rocky get home, and he
exactly Kodak Black.
And Kodak Black, and he helped one of the Ball brothers. They was in one of the Asian countries locked up. He helped them get home. So I think that's where that question came from, since he was so successful getting them back. That maybe he would be able to get Brittany back, especially with his allegedly relationship with Putin.
But do you know that he never invited one WNBA championship team to the White House during his tenure? Now one.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's breaking news.
He invited NBA, did not invite WNBA. Again, the intersection. Women, queer, black.
Right. Okay. That part right there.
Yep.
That part right there. Okay. Well, look here, LaChana. I want to say thank you. This was one dope interview. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but hey, we persevered through it. Like I said, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on, and hopefully we'll get you back in the near future sometime next year.
Oh, I would love to come back on. Yeah, I got to do a do-over because I had all my technical issues, but I appreciate what you guys are doing. I love conversations like this, especially when it's from the home team and knowing that y'all don't even know the joy that I get when I go home and I can listen to my go-go music and get my mambo sauce and my chicken. Like,
there it is.
I love Atlanta, and I've been here over 20 years, but there's no place like home, and this conversation really felt like home. So
Mount Vernon or Charles Houston?
Mount Vernon. Get out of here.
Shout out to Charles Houston. Charles Houston all day, every day. Okay,
Thank
Mills.
you, LaChana. We appreciate you. We are closing down the year 2022 of the No Cap Sports Show. We want to thank all of our listeners and our followers. Don't forget to click like. We are doing a thing on this side of podcasting, and we just appreciate all of our guests for the year. We'll be back on January 4th, 2023. So we're going to go dark for a little while. That's a little self-care for the group.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? And get ready for some great shows coming at you in 2023. If you want to listen to our audio version of this show, you can listen on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Y'all have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you in 2023.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Happy holidays and Merry New Year.